Krishna, good evening. This evening, I will speak on a verse of Bhagavad Gita, 14 chapter 14. Does someone know the title? This chapter? No?
We know a little bit, but not much.
Yeah, okay. It's Krishna speaks about the three modes of nature. And that modeness, goodness, passion, ignorance. That before Krishna is said, that there are these three modes, goodness, passion, and ignorance. And because of the influence of these modes, no one knows me in this world. So Krishna complains in a few verses like that. Nobody knows me because they are covered by material nature. So Bhagavad Gita is about how to know Krishna, how to transcend the mode. But in the beginning of the 14th chapter, he points out that he's the source of all living entities. Many species, at least two species here, human species and dog species. How many dog species are there? Many kinds. So where are they coming from? Krishna explains in text 4, chapter 14. Before we read from Bhagavad Gita, we glorify the speaker of Bhagavad Gita. Who is the speaker of Bhagavad Gita?
Who spoke Bhagavad Gita? Who spoke Bhagavad Gita?
Krishna, yes. And Krishna is also called Vasudev. What does Vasudev mean?
Son of
The son of Vasudev. There's also a second meaning. Vasudev means the all-pervading. Krishna is special. He's all-pervading. We are not all-pervading. And he's a person at the same time. So therefore we glorify him with the words Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Please repeat. Sarva Yonishu.
Sarva Yonishu.
Kaunteya. Sarva Yonishu Kaunteya.
Sarva Yonishu Kaunteya.
Muhtaya.
Muktaya.
Sambhavanti.
Sambhavanti.
Yaha.
Yaha.
Muhtayanti Sambhavanti Yaha.
Muktaya Sambhavanti Yaha.
Tasam.
Dasam.
Brahma.
Brahma.
Mahatshoni.
Mahashoni.
Tasma Brahma Mahatshoni.
Tasma Brahma Mahashoni.
Aham. Bija.
Bija.
Bija Prada.
Bija Prada.
Pita.
Pita.
You all know what Pita means.
Yes.
Father. Bija means seed. Krishna is the seed-giving father. Sarva Yonishu Kaunteya.
Sarva Yonishu Kaunteya.
Muktaya Sambhavantiya.
Muktaya Sambhavanti Yaha.
Dasam Brahma Mahachonir Ambija Patapitam. So it should be understood that all species of life, O son of Kunti, are made possible by birth in this material nature, and that I am the seed-giving Father. Yes. Krishna says, I'm the source of all species. And in his commentary, he explains, in this verse, it is clearly explained that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, is the original Father of all living entities. The living entities are a combination of material nature and spiritual nature. What is the spiritual part? Soul. And what is the material part? Body, subtle and gross body. Two bodies. Yeah. Such living entities are seen not only on this planet, but on every planet, even on the highest where Brahma is situated. Brahma is also a body. What kind of body does Brahma have? No? It's in the Bhagavatam.
Brahma is the one who created
The creator of the universe. But what kind of body does he have?
Vedas.
Vedas is very close. Very close. Vedas means knowledge. The original knowledge coming from the breathing of Narayana. And Brahma comes from Narayana, is born of the lotus flower. The lotus coming from Garbhodakasai, Krishna. So, yes, Brahma, but what kind of body does he have? It's described in the Bhagavatam, he has a causal body. Causal. So a causal body is made of pure intelligence. We have all a subtle body. What are the three components of the subtle body? Someone knows what is our subtle body made of? Three components. It's buddhi, manas, and ahankar, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. Yeah. That's three subtle elements and five gross elements. Bhumirapanalava kamana mana buddha ahankar ityame bina partyashita. It's this material nature. And our subtle body is made of manas, buddhi, ahankar. The gross body is made of bhumirapanalava fire, kam. That's the gross body. We have the subtle body. Can we see our intelligence, our subtle body, with our eyes? No. But does it mean it does not exist? No. Yeah, we have intelligence. Hopefully. So can we see Brahma's body? No. Because it's a causal body. It's still finer than our subtle body. But the more subtle the body, the more powerful. And the most subtle body is a spiritual body. Okay. So everywhere there are living entities, so we may not see them, but everywhere are living entities. It's not because we are not seeing them, they are not there. Sometimes we dream at night and we have a nightmare that or we get some sensation in the body which is not so pleasant. That many times caused by subtle bodies, by subtle ghosts. Ghosts we cannot see. That's all described in the Bhagavatam. So all these appearances are due to modern material nature and Krishna and Krishna's seed-giving process. The purport in that the material world is impregnated with living entities who come out of various forms at time of creation according to their past deeds. Before the creation, they are resting, these souls, with their subtle bodies, they are resting in the body of Narayan. And then with the creation, they come out. So that is described here in the Bhagavatam. But what does that mean in a modern context? Srila Prabhupada wrote his purport based on the scriptures. And many times he was criticizing the modern theories of creation. He criticized the modern version of how species are created in this universe. So what are the theories of the scientists about the creation? Someone say?
Big Bang Theory.
Big Bang Theory.
We came from monkeys.
From monkeys. But what do they say about the beginning of the creation? How did it start?
With an explosion.
Yeah, and before the explosion. What caused the explosion then? That many times they say everything came from nothing. Have you ever experienced something came from nothing? That they say that's their theory. In the past, many years ago, life came from matter. From matter. And then it came from matter, and by further evolution, these forms of life developed and became more and more complex. And when this development came to the peak, you have the human form of life. That is their theory. That the human form of life is it came from simple life to more and more complex. That's what they are saying. I'm not a biologist. I'm not a scientist. I'm not expert on this subject matter. But the system of creation, which is described by Srila Prabhupada in many of his purports, based on the Vedas, is so perfect. So without being a biochemist or a biologist, we can easily condemn this theory. Prabhupada also many times said, I'm not a scientist, but because of Shastra, the scriptures, I can challenge these scientists and their theories. And these scientists today, it's still prevalent. They have two theories. The first is mentioned. The creation comes from the Big Bang. And the second is the evolution theory of Darwin. And Prabhupada was convinced that so much convinced on the what Krishna says here in Bhagavad Gita, that he did not care in front of who he was speaking. That his faith was based on the scriptures and not on sense perception. So unless we come to the spiritual platform, it is likely that we have more faith in what we perceive through our senses. And therefore, scientists, what they present to us, it seems reasonable, it seems acceptable, but it is based on sense perception. But the knowledge of Shastra is not based on sense perception. It is coming from the breathing of Narayan. That the Vedas are eternal knowledge, and therefore it has nothing to do with the imperfections of this life. When we see the universe and we see life from the viewpoint of the scriptures, then this modern scientific theory, it seems to be very childish. It is so foolish that people imagine that life has come out of matter. That it came out of nowhere. It's so surprising that they accept these theories. That is the power of Maya or illusion. So Krishna explains in Bhagavad Gita, Mama Maya Parichaya, those whose knowledge is stolen by illusion, they cannot accept God or Krishna. And that's common sense. Life comes from life, not from matter. Matter comes from life. It's because of the soul that the body develops. It's because of a seed that a plant is grown. Because in the seed is the soul. So there are many examples. But there is not a single example before us where we can see that where life comes from matter. It's not there. Srila Prabhupada used to challenge the scientists. He said, at least you produce in your laboratory, you produce a cockroach. Then we will start talking. And what is their reply? Oh, we will in the future, they say. It's only a matter of time. Then we will come to this level and create life for matter. But Prabhupada, he was laughing at this answer by saying, it's like giving a postdated check given by man, a check for $100,000. Suppose you see a very poor man on the street and he's begging. He has not even 5 rupees. Someone signs a check for him for 100,000 rupees and tells you, please, you can cash it in 1 month. Probably he will not believe you. So please show me that you have at least 100 rupees in your pocket, and I will believe you that your check has some value. So Prabhupada told to the scientists, at least make an ant. One worm, one germ. But make something and show it. Otherwise, it's simply talking. And by this talking, you are simply fooling the people of the world, deceiving them. So in the scriptures, this example is given that sometimes a scorpion lies her eggs in a pile of rice. And then the scorpion comes, then it looks like, of course, the eggs of the scorpion were in the rice. Not a certain moment, the eggs break, the scorpions come out, and a foolish person may think that the rice produces the scorpions. But the mother scorpion has lighter eggs, and that is why the scorpions come out. So similarly, life cannot come from matter. Life has a cause beyond matter. This material nature is called Prakriti. Prakriti is feminine in nature. A woman by herself cannot give birth to a child. The cooperation of a man is necessary. Similarly, the Shastra explains that, especially this is mentioned in Chaitanya Charitamrita by Krishna Das Goswami, Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami. He explains that material nature in itself cannot produce life. Because it's just like a lady all by herself. But Krishna is the supreme or the supreme male. He impregnates Prakriti, that material nature. And then all the species come into existence. And that's the verse we are discussing. Sarva yonisu kauntiya murtaya sambhavantiya tasyam brahmamat yoni ambija pratapita. That all species of life, they come from matter. They are not coming from matter. They are coming from Krishna, seed-giving Father. Krishna says all species. So it says all species, and I'm the seed-giving Father. Two important points. Krishna is the supreme Father of all species, that is the father of the human beings, from the cockroaches, the worms, the dogs, the bulls, the cows, the ants, all. And material nature is Prakriti, is the mother. It's only by cooperation of Krishna, the Purush, that all species come into existence. So by sense perception and speculation, it's impossible to understand the universe. You must be on the spiritual platform, because our brains, our intellect is made of matter. With matter, you cannot understand transcendental subject matter. It's not possible. We can understand the spiritual position by spiritual realization. And how does it place? Krishna says, Dadami buddhyogam tam. Desam satyuktam vachampi debrukam dadami buddhyogam tam yena mam payanti train. If you serve me with a little love, Dadami, I give you transcendental intelligence, buddhi yoga. Because he gives that to the heart. He says, Tesham evanakampatam ammahyana chamtama nasachama atma bhavastu jnana dipana bhashvat. If the jnana dipana, if the lamp of knowledge in the heart, I transfer this transcendental knowledge. He gives us realizations, transcendental realizations, through the soul. That's the process, the mystical process to become self-realized, to get transcendental knowledge. When you practice Krishna consciousness, you start very quickly to feel you are not a body. You are not a mind, and so on. So even the scientists have not been able to understand this earth properly. With all its oceans, mountains, vegetation. I spoke with a doctor, and this doctor said to me, we don't know even 5% of how the body works. 5%, even not. Can you imagine that? And we hear every day there are scientific discoveries that they find more species and so on. That, but their theories, they keep on changing. That they speak about the universe, about dark matter. But what is it? They don't know. But knowledge of the scriptures is fixed. It doesn't change. That in the Puranas, the number of species and types of species are mentioned with great accuracy. That it says there are 9 lakhs of species who live in the water. 20 lakhs of species of trees, plants, creepers. 11 lakhs of species of insects, reptiles. 10 lakhs of bird species. And 30 lakhs of all kinds of animal species. And 4 lakhs of human species. That includes the demigods. That means together 84 lakhs of species of life. And Krishna is the father of all of them. And Prakriti is the mother. So that's perfect knowledge, not the speculations of the scientist. Perfect knowledge of creation we find in the Bhagavatam, in 2 cantos, twice the whole creation, the process is described. But therefore, we should serve Krishna. Krishna is our origin. And if we recognize that Krishna is the origin, what happens? Bhavamat Bhakto, we become his devotee. We understand that he's a super soul in our heart. In 925, Krishna says, Yepyanya Devata Bhakta Yayante Shadavanyita. No, it's Yanti Devata Devan Pitrin Yanti Pativrata Bhutani Yanti Bhuteya Yanti Mach Chatsitopimam. It's a one who worships the devas, the demigods, goes to the demigods. One who worships the pretas, the ghosts, will take birth among these species. One who worships the ancestors go to the ancestors. And one who worships me comes to me. So what's the difference of worship Krishna and worship all the others? That when one worships Krishna, one gets an eternal result. When one worships the others, the devas and so on, one gets a material result, a temporary result. The temporary result means material result. Spiritual result means eternal result. That if you take birth amongst the demigods and so on, You are still in the material world. It's a temporary achievement. You have to come back here when your pious credits are over. It's temporary result. When one worships Krishna, one gets an eternal result. One gets a spiritual body, an eternal body. It's external. It looks the same worship. You worship a flower to Ganesh or to Durga. We offer a flower to Krishna. We offer incense to the demigods. We are offering incense to Krishna. Externally, it looks the same worship, but it's completely different. One is material, the other is spiritual. If you worship Krishna, you get a spiritual result, an eternal result. But that's not the only difference. The motive of the worshipper is different. That if we worship demigods, then one wants material benefit. One wants something in return from them for their temporary life in this world. There is a business mentality. We offer you puja, you give us that. But worshipping Krishna is different. We worship Krishna out of love, only giving. And we are only giving out of love. There's love involved. Love means pleasing the beloved without asking something in return. Pleasing the beloved. And that's what we all want, is love in this world. We want to love and be loved. But in the material world, it's perverse. We may love someone, but the relation breaks. You take birth again, who knows among which species. And you will have new relationships. But with Krishna, it's different. You cultivate a relationship with Krishna, and this relationship is eternal. Krishna is in our heart. Next life, you will become also Krishna conscious. You will continue. And Krishna is in your heart. And Krishna says, if you worship me, performing devotional service, it has no loss or diminution. You become 5% Krishna conscious in this life. Next life, you start from 5%. It never diminishes. There's no loss. If you worship devas for temporary benefit, at the time of death, it's all lost. Finished. It's all temporary. And devotional service, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, protects you against the greatest danger. What is the greatest danger? To become degraded, to become an animal in next life. Very dangerous. But if you perform Krishna conscious, even a little, you are protected against that. You will have at least the human form in your next life. That is guaranteed. But Krishna is different than the demigods. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that if you worship me, Ananta Sintyantamam Yechana Parapashite Nitya Vichabhayuktanam Yoga Ekstema Vamyam. If you worship me, I will protect what you have. And I give you everything what you need. What does Krishna means there? Krishna says that I will give what you need. Means opportunities to make spiritual advancement. He will give you. And he will protect what you have. but we are a soul. What do we have? The only thing we have is our consciousness. He will protect our consciousness, our Krishna consciousness, so that we become elevated in next life. So Krishna gives us what we need to make spiritual advancement. That the demigods will give us what we want on a material platform. But Krishna will not give that so quickly. If we are attached to material things, Krishna will take it away. Or he will teach us the attachment. And that teaching of Krishna of detachment, we can perceive in different ways. That how do we learn detachment? That giving up sense gratification and attachment to so many things of the body. How do we give it up? It's very difficult to give up. Krishna says, Mama Maya very difficult to overcome. But Maya Mayam Tarantite, one can easily cross beyond it when one surrenders unto me, Krishna says, very easily. But surrender means following Krishna's instructions. And you need faith in these instructions. And faith you get by practicing them, you get a result. But first we must know his instructions. And that's very important. If you want to, the spiritual life means trying to love Krishna, loving Krishna, chanting Hare Krishna. My Guru Maharaj Bhakti Charamats always said that what does it mean? It means saying to Krishna, I love you. And that is what is required to develop this spiritual love. But giving up that material attachment is very difficult. But it becomes easy if we follow Krishna's instructions. Krishna can teach you in different ways. And it's up to if we are sincere to make spiritual advancement, Krishna will teach us in one of these three ways. It's like someone is hearing that stealing is bad. Okay, that's first class. I hear stealing is bad, I will not do it. That's first class. Second class is, I hear that stealing is bad, but I've still the tendency. But then I see someone is arrested for stealing, that someone is arrested. And then, okay, I will not do it. That's second class. Third class is one hears that chant, one hears that stealing is bad, but still wants to steal. I see that someone is arrested, still he wants to steal. Until he's arrested himself. Then he stops stealing. So these are three levels of learning. Krishna gives us the scriptures. If we hear every day Bhagavad Gita and the scriptures and hear from self-realized souls, that's the first class way to create attachment. Because by that you will become attached to Krishna. And when you become attached to Krishna, as side effect, you become detached from matter. That's the same thing in the 5th chapter of Bhagavad Gita is explained. Attachment to Krishna is detachment from this world. You become attached to Krishna. And that's first class just by hearing. But if we don't want to hear, then we can perform devotional service, and by performing that devotional service, we will also come to become purified, but it will go not so quick. But if we don't perform devotional service and still want to become purified, that it's very difficult. But even if we perform devotional service, we remain attached. And it's difficult to give up. We want, but it's too strong. We cannot give up. Cannot give up this family attachment. There's so many things we cannot give up. It's too strong. Then Krishna will, and if you don't hear, it's very difficult to give up. But if you are still sincere, Krishna will help you. But it will be a hard learning. What is the hard learning? Prabhupada always cited the Bhagavatam, 10th canto, chapter 88:8. That is the sages speaking to Krishna at Kurukshetra. And there it is said, yes, if you are too attached to things, the sages say how you can see that someone has got Krishna's mercy. If you are too much, if Krishna sees you are too much attached to something, and you want to give it up, but you are too weak. If Krishna says, my devotee is too weak, Krishna takes away what he is attached to. It's like a child. A child plays with toys, and the mother has already twice said that you have to come to take lunch. And still, the child is not coming. And the third time, the mother comes, takes the toy away, and the child starts to cry, takes the child at the hand at her and brings it into the house to take lunch. And that is Krishna. This is Krishna's mercy. But then you give up your attachment forever, because we are suffering due to the attachment. And you give it up, this attachment. You are free. Krishna makes you free, and that is his mercy. But for many people who worship demigods, very difficult to understand. I met a devotee in Spain. He's from South India. At first he was Pujari in Sweden, and he moved to Spain. And he told me, when he became a devotee, his mother said, when I was chanting Hare Krishna, his mother said, I don't want to hear this name of Krishna. Krishna has always given me trouble. That she had that idea. But then, even when she was leaving her body, he was chanting Hare Krishna when she was leaving her body, and she went like this with her head. No. But it requires deeper understanding. Krishna is our best friend. He wants us to give back our eternal life, our eternal existence, and free ourselves from this material attachment. But for us, many times, it's a difficult lesson to learn. But that is spiritual life. If we want to solve our problem of birth, death, old age, and disease, and taking birth in these species, and come here just to pass stool and all these temporary things here. We are very temporary here. We had family members in our previous life, and the life before, and the life before. Are we still concerned with them? No. But now we are so concerned with them that about, it was 2017, I was in Leicester in the UK, and my godbrother, who was a doctor, Amsagati Krishna, he brought me to the hospital to see his mother. His mother was a Gujarati, but they lived in Kenya because 100 years before, many Gujaratis came to Africa to build the railways. But then in Zambia, Idi Amin in 1974 said that all these Indians are ruining the economy. All out, 2 months and out of India, out of Zambia. And many of them, but that was, at that time, they had all the British passport. So they arrived in 1972, 73 in Heathrow with 120,000. And some were setting in around London, and some in Leicester, some in Manchester. And his mother was one of them, and she came with 8 children from Kenya. He was one of them, my godbrother. And she was going to leave his body. And she was lying there. I was at her feet. And she was hearing Prabhupada's chanting. And all the family members were in the room, about 30. And my godbrother said to his family members, when her last breath comes, it's a sacred moment. Remain silent. That's important. So I was just before her, and I could see her eyes moving, her eyebrows. Just give me a sign, I'm going. And then the last breath came. And immediately everyone started to cry. They could not maintain themselves. But that crying, is that going to help the person? No. And we are the next to die, to be executed. And that is the reality of life. We have to wake up from that and try to understand our real nature. Our real nature is spiritual. We don't need this body to exist. But we have become attached to enjoying without Krishna. And that's a mistake. But we can rectify it. And that's the pose of Krishna consciousness. The more you practice, the more you become attached to Krishna, the more happy your life. You become less disturbed. It's said in the Bhagavatam, Tasheva ita payate kovte nalapyate pramatam yupayata, dalapyate dukkha from anyatosikam kalena savarata kabira ramasa. This is Vyasadeva speaking to Narada Muni. He says, one should not seek happiness in this world. Happiness in this world comes on its own accord, like distress is coming. Do we want distress? No, but it comes. In the same time, happiness comes. Because all our life experiences are fixed at the time of birth. That's your karma you created in previous lives. And that will be your life. And how you deal with all these reactions of our previous lives, that's up to us. If you deal with it in Krishna conscious, you will not suffer. If you think you are the body, your suffering is without end. So Krishna is the source of everything, and he should be worshipped. That was my message. Very simple. Any question, comment?
It's going to absorb what you talked about.
Mm.
It's not that easy.
No, that's true.
And we're hearing this same thing, like, since, growing up, right?
Yeah.
So ISKCON, we always used to go to ISKCON temple, and Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, we always chant. And yeah, so good message, like, very well, presented, like very well, like,
It's a reinforcement,
yeah.
we should wake up for that.
Yeah, big, yeah. This life is like a dream, Prabhupada says. We dream at night, and then we get up, we think it's a dream. But then we come in the dream of the day, thinking that we are the body. And that's another dream. That we must become spiritually reawakened. That understanding our real identity as a spirit soul, we are a servant of Krishna, a part of Krishna. We are part of Krishna. And therefore, we are intimately related with him. We cannot be without him. He's in the heart of the soul. He never left us. He has just to make contact with him. And that's Krishna consciousness. And it's natural. It's completely natural. And, yes. But if you begin the process, good. And that see the dog has calmed down. Hearing transcendental knowledge, very good. That's the effect of transcendental knowledge, even on animals. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Thank